Hi, I'm Brian Olmsted, CTO of Visual Robotics. Today I'd like to show you the 3 different ways you can use Quick Pick. As an example, we'll pick these pieces of foam meat off a conveyor and palletize them on this cart. You can watch a video of our system performing a task like this in a real production environment. The first way to use Quick Pick is in a standalone configuration. To load a configuration, press the Load Config button and select your configuration. We're going to use the Meat Cart Standalone. It loads the finder and the pick and place locations. Let's put a piece of meat on the belt so we can see what Quick Pick is looking at. You can see that Quick Pick knows where the meat is. It puts a box around it indicating its position and orientation. If I move the meat to a different location, it tracks the meat and its orientation. To set the pick location, go to the Setup Diagnostics screen and click the Free Drive button. Then you can move the robot by hand or with the pendant until the camera can see the meat on the belt. Then you press the Set Home button to lock in the location. For this demonstration, we're going to set a waypoint so the robot knows which way to move from the belt to the pallet. To do that, we grab the robot and move it to a safe location. Then you press the Set Waypoint button to lock in that location. Press the Free Drive button to stop setting waypoints. Next, we need to set the placement locations on the pallet. I'll place a piece of meat in this first location. Now we'll set the object placement locations by going to the Object Placement menu. First, we'll select the lower left position by clicking the lower left pose and pressing Set Pose. Move the robot by hand or with the teach pendant until the end effector is over the meat where you want it, like this. Click Set Pose again to leave pose setting mode. Set the lower right position by pressing the lower right pose and Set Pose. Place another piece of meat on the pallet and then move the robot until it is over that piece of meat, like this. Press Set Pose to leave pose setting mode. Set the upper right location by pressing the upper right pose and Set Pose. Repeat for the third piece of meat, like this. Press Set Pose to leave pose setting mode. Set the upper left pose by clicking the upper left pose button and Set Pose. Repeat with the fourth piece of meat, like this. Press Set Pose button to leave pose setting mode. Confirm that the poses are where you want them to be by clicking on the pose and pressing Move to Pose. I'll click to all 4 locations. Safely move the robot to the home pose by going to the Setup Diagnostics screen, pressing Move to the Waypoint position, and then Move to Home. Save the configuration and go to the Control Panel screen in order to test out the configuration. Press Start to start the pick and place cycle. That's how easy it is to use the standalone Quick Pick to do a pick and palletize operation. Next, I'll demonstrate how to use Quick Pick with PolyScope using the pendant. First, load the program. Go to the Program menu, Load Program, and I'm going to do my meat cart palletizing demo. The initialization step involves connecting to the Quick Pick over RPC and loading the configuration. The main program is simple. We loop 4 times, once for each piece of meat. We move to the pick location. Then we tell Quick Pick to grab the meat with this single line of code here. Then we palletize it using the Universal Robot's built-in palletizing wizard. When all 4 pieces of meat are picked, we move to the done pose and turn off the lights. That's the end of the program. When using PolyScope to talk to Quick Pick, you'll need to run our servering program as a background thread. Now that you see how the program works, let's give it a try. We press rewind and play, and it asks to move the robot to the first pose. I press auto while it moves the robot to the first pose. When that's complete, I press play again to run the program. It's loading the config and moving to the first pose. Now it's ready to pick. Now let's see it pick some meat. Now you've seen how easy it is to use Quick Pick with PolyScope on the pendant. Now let's try it with Python. Here's a screenshot of the GUI that I'm doing in Python. Python is very similar to PolyScope. We have implemented commands to move the robot, for example, to move to the pick pose, to give you the same functionality that you have in PolyScope. Commands to talk to Quick Pick use the same RPC syntax as in PolyScope. Here, we tell Quick Pick to start looking for meat, and here we check to see if it's grabbed a piece. We use these separate commands so that we can also check for button presses in the UI. Let's see it work. Now you've seen how easy it is to use Python to control Quick Pick to do a pick and place operation.